Let's take a basic look at how to make a component here in Figma. So if we wanted to make a little button layout component, I might start by pressing T for the type tool, clicking out here on my canvas, and maybe typing in the word button. Then I'm going to click off, press F, which is the frame tool. You can see that one up here, and create a frame around this button. So we have a button and a frame. Currently the text is inside of the frame. But what I'd like to do is click and drag to select everything right here and add an auto layout to this frame. So we're going to click auto layout over here. From there, we can actually adjust the padding to fit the text the best that we want. So maybe something like this and like that. So there we go. We have the basic original part of our button. I might even round the corners a little bit. Let's see, just like that. And what we can do with this frame, with it selected, is come up here and create a component. When we create a component, it essentially is kind of like creating a reusable group of elements. And so now this whole frame turns purple, and you can see the component icon here in the layers panel. That signifies that this is the original component. Now you could create a separate page for all of your components, and you can go back and edit these, but your components will live in your assets panel, and your local components are local to this document. You can also add components to libraries and reuse those libraries across other projects. But this local component here, if I wanted to use an instance of the component, I would click and drag it out. Now these two guys are different. This is the editable original component. This is an instance of it. We can even see that in our layers panel. You see the editable version has that original 4 squares in a diamond shape component icon. The diamond outline signifies an instance. Now what can be done here? Well, when you change or make edits to the original component, like if I increase the padding here and hold Option or Alt, I'll increase it on top and bottom, you can see that the second or the instance component changes as well. That's kind of the power of components. If you're used to symbols in Illustrator, that's kind of a similar concept where you can make edits to the original and it will make edits down the line wherever you've used this button. Now over here we can make some edits to it. So if we had, let's say we wanted to utilize a few different buttons, and the text was going to be different, right? So we have one button that says submit and another button that says yes, for instance. So these buttons can share the same component properties. And when we do that same sort of padding up and down, you can see how both of those buttons change. But over here, we've actually changed the text on each one, but they're reusable. And that's sort of the power of it. You didn't have to recreate this button multiple times. You can reuse the elements that you created in this component. And yes, you can also create components out of multiple components too. So you can really start to stack and nest this. Now the last thing is if you want to create an interactive component or element, or you want to also add properties and variants to this. So like, let's say this was a button, but I wanted to have a hover state and I wanted to have a click state and I wanted that to all be interactive. I actually have a tutorial on that, so you can check it out in the description down below. But this is a basic overview of how to create a component here in Figma.